are joined by a special guest today, one that is joining the family of A3. We have Ritch Ramey, the Director of Education for the Association for Advancing Automation.
Yes.
Did I get all that right?
You got it all right.
Awesome. So, to start off with, I'd love to kick. You've been at the A3. Is this your first Automate?
It's the first one I've worked. That
you've worked.
Yeah.
And so right away, when you're walking the show floor, what are you seeing here that's just getting you excited about where the future of automation is going?
Well, hey, I've taught robotics for 32 years at colleges and high school, and I've brought students to these events. Students are getting jobs out of these events. Some of my former students are working this event.
Yeah.
But what excites me is just the latest technology. I mean, there's probably, millions and millions of dollars of technology on this floor. But the robotics applications, I mean, it's not just robots. I mean, you've got AI going on. You've got all kinds of different automation processes. And it's just exciting to see what every company is doing to demonstrate.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I've got a question. Since you've been in this space for a while, you've had students coming through here. You've been at Automate yourself. What's different about this day? What's the vibe here? What do you feel is different right now? Is there a wave of change coming to this space? I want to get your perspectives on that.
Oh, there definitely is. When I first started doing this 15, 20, even 30 years ago, robotics was almost a standalone, hey, I got to have a robot, right? And I can solve problems. Today, that's just a small piece of the automation process. And with AI and everything is coming, and people are scared of it, but we use it every day, GPS. I couldn't have got to Detroit to this convention center now, unfortunately, without hitting GPS and using AI, right? So as you walk through here, you see the automated robots. The things are going to Amazon and warehouses and agriculture and the food industry. And, one of my favorite fast food restaurants is completely automated the restaurant. They use AI to take my order, and then they have a automated system to give me my food. I mean, what's better than that?
Yeah.
You see that here.
Absolutely. So the one thing, right, Automate continues to grow. The manufacturing automation continues to grow because of the technology, but also because of the workforce, the engineers, the skilled trades, the people that are programming these robots, creating the ideas, and that falls into the education, right?
Yes.
Education is such a foundation to expand and grow our industry. And you're the director of education for A3.
Yes.
So what are you envisioning? What is the impact that you want to create across this industry within your position?
I want it to be seamless. I want a K to grade pathway. We've got kids doing kindergarten, elementary, junior high, high school, career centers, 2-year colleges, 4-year colleges, incumbent workers getting retrained, apprenticeship programs. We need 3.1 million workers.
Yeah.
We're not going to get them. We have to solve it by working together on automation. And what you see going on right now, you see a lot of excited and smart people out here making a lot of money with great careers, and they're all excited about what they're doing. They invent something new all the time that will solve a problem, right? They need 5 workers. They can't find them. They find a process, and then you hire people making double their money they used to make as robotic technicians, right? It's just a pathway that I'm excited about the future. I know that we're worried about not having enough workers, but I was in Houston 3 weeks ago and Dallas 2 weeks ago for the largest robot contest in the world. Over 40,000 students were competing down there. I feel pretty good about the future of our workforce when
Absolutely.
I go to those events to see that.
What's I don't want to say what's the biggest opportunity for education in this space right now, but what's one of the let's say one of the most low-hanging fruit opportunities to take education to the next level in this space?
I think it's from the standpoint of a lot of schools want education in their programs. You have a lot of really quality robotics and automation programs around the country through Project Lead the Way, VEX, and First Robotics, and so what I see a lot of is competing schools will say, well, why doesn't our school have a robot team? Mm-hmm. And they'll go to board meetings or they'll go to the principal and say, I'm taking my kid to the other school if you don't have a robotics program, right? Yeah. So we see a lot of growth in that area. And then there's some really great programs out there and curriculum out there for teachers to upscale it. And I think there's a lot of excitement around it.
So I think in order to move education forward, there has to be a lot of partnerships.
Yes.
So I want you to answer from 3 different perspectives. One, what can parents be doing better to educate them to get their kids involved? 2, what can manufacturers as themselves be doing better? And then 3, what should we be doing better with the educational system itself? What could we see high schools doing better, or trade schools, or vocational? You know, I would say take each one, let's break it apart a little bit.
Well, this is my passion, so you've hit the right spot. We might not have enough time.
Well,
for
we'll
all
try and
this.
fill
I was
as
going to
much
say
as
that
we
was a
can.
great question.
All right.
That was just this is just from the
So
peanut gallery.
when you
on
look
this.
at parents, all right, you need to expose your kids to more opportunities. You know, we used to everybody knows this, hear it all the time. Your kids got to go to college to be successful. We know today that's not the truth. Kids, I've got former students that came out making 6 figures, 18 years old, 22 years old, they own their own house. You know, they've got their own 4-wheel drive trucks or whatever they want to have, toys. So we need to expose them to opportunities like Automate. Parents need to come here with their kids and see this. Now, you have to be 12 years old.
Yeah.
But junior high is the ideal time to show them around the place, right? And we're going to have 300 students here tomorrow for Career Day. Then when you look at industry, they need to engage. They need to go out to the local schools in their area, local robotics club, 4-H programs, or whatever. Whoever's having a contest, whoever's got a robotics program, say, I want to come speak at your contest or your school, your event. I'm willing to judge at your event. And we have tours. You can see the unbelievable stuff we're doing with automation in our factories. Because I ran a lot of events over the years, robotics events, and I always have parents come up and say, can my son or daughter or grandson, niece, nephew, can they really make a living at this? And you're like, well, how much is $100,000 a year okay, or is that bad? Do you want to take the $100,000 you saved up to put your child through college and just take a trip after they graduate? Because you can do that.
Not to mention the opportunity to learn how a business works in that specific niche and
Yeah.
potentially take that entrepreneurial leap, start your own business focused in that area.
If you're 18, 19, 20, 30, 40, and you want to go into robotics, you're never going to have to worry about a job. Because right now, it's a seller's market. If I want a job over here somewhere today, I'll get one, right? So
Yeah.
that's, those are 2 of the areas. What was the third question?
So we wanted parents, we wanted the manufacturers, what they could be doing, and then what could educational schools be doing that's, like a vocational school, right? They're always out there. And the last time I walked into a vocational school, they had technology that was 20 years old.
Yep.
So when they have that high school student walk through and give that tour, that guy walks through and says, that's kind of cool, but that doesn't get me excited. What resources are out there that these schools should be looking for?
Well, we've had 2 meetings on this today with education. You have an education pavilion here that Fanning sponsors. You've got other companies, Festo, Yuskau, and different ones that are here, all have educational products. They're in schools all over the country. I think over 2,000 schools have industrial robotics with real industrial robotics equipment with the latest curriculum. Actually, automation is involved as well. AI is coming. I mean, all types of stuff for training for students out there. But what schools need to do is most of them have advisory committees where they have like our members on there. And I was one of those teachers. And it's a tough conversation sometimes when they tell you that what you're teaching is not the right thing to teach. And you're like, yeah, but I've invested a lot of time, but I'm doing it wrong. So, you just got to suck it up and learn something new. But also, industry has to support you too as well. And you talked about the old equipment. When we were building the Ramtechs, we had companies that wanted to give us 30-year-old robots. Well, if you don't want the robots, it's no good anymore at your company. Why do you want me to teach 30-year-old technology? So we always said, no, we want the latest technology. I don't want the old stuff. I want the new stuff that you want them to be able to run when they work for you. So that's kind of what my thought is on that.
So now that we're getting later in the show, we've been asking a lot of people this question, like, what is your prediction for, let's say, education 1 to 2 years down the line? We've asked a lot of people, what's your prediction for, like, the industry in general? I want to hear it, like, from your perspective on education specifically.
Well, there's been a lot of emphasis the last 3 years since COVID on supply chain, and we need to train more people, and we have a worker shortage. I think you're going to see a lot more students, a lot more adult training, retraining, and a lot of more emphasis on career tech, 2-year colleges. And the 4-year colleges, Purdue has an amazing program, Arizona State just recently I've talked to, where they've put millions of dollars into the latest technology for hands-on training throughout those engineering degrees now. So they're getting a lot of opportunities to work on equipment like you see here. And there's going to be a lot more of the hands-on type training. And we're going to turn this around where you go to college and you read it in a book, and you go out and your hands-on experience is your first job. Students are coming out of college today working on the latest technology on vision, AI, robotics, PLCs. They're getting firsthand exposure, and that's only going to increase.
Yeah, I think going back to one of my favorite experiences when you brought that up was I went to Grand Valley. It's a university here in West Michigan, and part of that program was a required co-op. So during my time going there, I had to work three full semesters. So I got a full years of experience working for manufacturers. When I graduated, I knew how to program a Rockwell PLC. I knew how to program a Fanuc robot. I knew how to, you work with SolidWorks.
And no college debt because you got paid in the summer.
And I got paid the entire time of doing that. Yeah, it was a great pay.
Yes.
It was better pay than what you're going to work for working for a fast food restaurant. You know, and I'm pushing my education forward at the same time.
And then your classes you took meant more to you, because if you took hydraulics and you never worked on hydraulics, it doesn't mean as much as if you've worked on it and you're taking it now. Same with robots, PLCs.
But I think that just shows the importance of collaboration with local manufacturers and education. And I think that's what truly creates success in the educational field is that combination of deploying the skilled workforce and accepting the workforce into the industry.
And we're seeing so much more of that, but you have to.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to really go out and cherry pick your workforce, and you have to get them. You know this, most people graduating today have the job offers 4 or 5 before they graduate.
Yeah.
And they don't have to worry about where they want to go to work. They can choose. And if I'm a young person, I think you hate to say this, but you pick the right company, but also don't be afraid to move to a different company for a different experience, because I think it's important to you in the long run too.
The one thing I love telling parents is if your kid graduates and they have a degree in mechatronics or robot programming, companies aren't interviewing him. They are interviewing the companies, deciding which one to work for, because the degree, the value, the skills that they have, every single company wants them.
Yeah, you're right. And the culture of the company makes a big difference on where you want to go to work.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's a great time to be young and wanting to go into this field, because the sky's the limit. You know, they're going to do some amazing things. And I'm older, and I really want everybody to have a job. It's really important to me, because someday I'm going to retire.
Exactly. Well, in that case, what's your final call to action, final thing you wish we would have asked, final point you want to make before we wrap this one up?
You know, we've covered a lot of ground, haven't we? I just think we need industry to really engage, go out and engage with these school systems, and let's build a pathway, a true communication between education and companies that are hiring. Let's get these students and put them to work.
So if there's manufacturers, or if there's end users, if there's individuals who are listening to this, who are watching this, where do they go to learn more?
I tell you, we had a meeting today. There's a website called Robotics, plural, careers, plural.org, and it has a list of almost every school in the country that is producing students that want to go into engineering and automation, robotics.
Roboticscareers.org.
Great website. Yes, I can attest to that. It is robust.
Awesome.
Yep.
Well, thank you so much for your time, and thanks for your insight. Thanks for your passion you have for the future of education. And we're going to see you all real soon. I'm Jake Hall, the Manufacturing Millennial. Chris Luecke with Manufacturing Happy Hour. We'll catch you soon.